Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something that is not a dinosaur at all, but it is very cool because we've got a brand new Creature Preacher release, and this is actually his Mako shark from Deep Blue Sea. If you are familiar with that film, then you might be familiar with what you're looking at, because this is his interpretation of that shark from the film, and definitely was a really cool release on his part. I don't think I've ever seen anyone make a shark that was specifically created to resemble the version from the film, which is, again, very cool on the part of Creature Preacher. And as always, he continues to surprise me with his insanely cool ideas that he comes up with. And again, this shark was definitely a nice one, and it's just generally cool to see a shark from Creature Preacher because he's one of my favorite sculptors out there currently, so it's always fun to see something like this from him. And as you can see, we've got the shark itself, which is, of course, removable from the base. It's basically just a little base that he has created here to display the shark on, and again, as you could see, obviously the shark is removable. But let's go ahead, jump to a closer look, and we'll check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt here of our shark, you can see instantly how impressive and how vicious the shark looks. It looks really good. I love the way that he sculpted out the mouth and everything, just giving it so much ferocity. You can also see the eyes are sculpted out and painted with a black tone. That looks pretty darn good. Very smooth transitions down from the darker tone that we have up here to the lighter tone of the underbelly as per usual. He is very good at his paint applications. You can see the inside of the mouth is sculpted in an open position. We've got some ugly looking teeth in there that I would not want to be bit by. And you can also see in typical Creature Preacher fashion, we also have a little bit of a metallic tone there on the inside of the mouth. It also kind of resembles like a bloody sort of a look for the inside of the mouth as well. And he's painted the teeth with variations of like yellowish tones and brownish tones, it looks like, and stuff like that. You can also see how good the actual skin detail here is of the shark, and the fact that it's opening its mouth and the way that the skin is reacting to that. As you move back, you've got the gills all sculpted out here very nicely. You can see again more really beautiful, very fine detail to the shark as you move along, even here on the underside. And again, I think the tones of color he's chosen look really good on the model as well. Very smooth application as per usual. As you continue to move back, you can see the actual texturing to the shark looks really good, pretty much exactly as I would expect it to look. You can see the dorsal fin is also sculpted really beautifully. Again, Creature Preacher never fails to impress me with his sculpting skills, and I feel like he absolutely knocked this shark out of the park. You can see the fin down here as well. For the most part, the shark is in pretty much a neutral position as far as the way it's kind of just swimming along here. It looks like it's almost coming in with a massive amount of speed, like a torpedo flying in here, and again, the mouth clearly open and ready to attack. As you continue to move along, you can see that he has actually applied variation of color to it, even though in certain lights it looks like it's mostly just like a dark tone, but you can see a dark shade of like a gray here, and as you move up further into the top, there is a black that's been applied, but on top of that, there's actually like, it almost looks like a very subtle, very dark bluish tone that you see up there on the dorsal fin as well. But as you continue to move along, you can see all of the fins look great. The texturing to the shark looks great. The overall shape and everything, I think, looks great. You can see the tail fin out there as well. And then if you turn it around, you take a look at the opposing side. Of course, considering it is in a neutral pose, it's going to look pretty much the same here from both sides. Again, you can see how incredibly smooth the application of the paint is. He's very good with his airbrush, that's for sure. But an absolutely awesome shark here, now sculpted by and painted by Creature Preacher. Again, very cool when it comes to having an actual model based on the Deep Blue Sea version of that shark. And you can also see that, again, the base isn't really much of anything other than a nice little kind of stand to lean the shark on, and painted with a gray tone. But pretty cool, though, to have this included, because it definitely helps when it comes to the display factor of the model. As far as a size goes, for a length from the tail to the snout, about 9 3/4 inches, or a little bit over 24.5 centimeters. And then for a height, if you want a true accurate height, you are looking at just under 4 inches or just under 10 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being next to our Deep Blue Sea Mako shark, and you can see it does have a pretty darn nice size to it. It's not a gigantic model. I have actually seen him create larger ones, so I think he kind of will create, basically, if you want a larger one, he can create a larger one. If you want one in this size range, he can create one in this size range. But I think this is a really good size, definitely a very nice, convenient size as far as fitting into my collection for sure, but I would imagine pretty much any other collection as well. For another comparison, we also have the Papomegalodon here next to our Mako shark from Creature Preacher, showing you that the Mako shark is a little bit bigger, as well as the smaller version of the Megalodon from PNSO, which again, the Creature Preacher Mako shark here is definitely a bit larger. We've also got the How Long Good Megalodon next to our Mako shark. We're getting closer in size, but again, Creature Preachers is a little bit bigger. Now you'll notice I'm not comparing any other Mako sharks to this because it's the only one that I have. I mostly have, Megalodons and stuff like that. I do have like the PNSO, Cretoxyrhina, and things like that, but again, for the most part, I'm kind of overflowing with Megalodons rather than Mako sharks. And continuing to prove that point, we have one final comparison with the larger vinyl version of the Megalodon from PNSO next to the Mako shark from Creature Preacher. And we finally have a shark that is bigger than Creature Preachers. You can see the large vinyl version from PNSO is definitely a bit larger. So this brand new Creature Preacher Mako shark from Deep Blue Sea is another very cool figure from Creature Preacher. I just love his stuff. Everything about his models are like so incredibly appealing to me. I just love his style. It's like an old school gritty kind of almost like vintage style to his models, and it's just like I feel like we both just love the same sort of thing and definitely the same type of like films and media and stuff, because every single time he creates a new model, I'm always like, man, that is such a great idea. And again, another situation just like that right here with this Mako shark. I think he's done a great job, not only on the shark, but just in general choosing to create a shark again from Deep Blue Sea, because it's not something that I've ever really seen anyone touch on. That's for some reason just something that's been heavily ignored when it comes to any sort of model. But I guess, with the plethora of shark attack films out there, that's not surprising. However, Deep Blue Sea is definitely one of the more iconic, so having a model based on the Deep Blue Sea Mako shark is really cool. And again, like I said, I think he's done a great job on his. He's absolutely sculpted it out to give it a really nice, really highly detailed appearance, nice pose on it as well, even though it's just kind of like a neutral pose. I love the way that he sculpted the mouth and the way that it's opened up. It just looks so ferocious and looks like a killer, just like they were in the film. And of course, on top of that, his paintwork is incredibly nicely done, very smooth, and I love that Creature Preacher always adds so much variation of color to his models while still giving them a nice natural look. And he's done the same thing for this one here, where you can just see very subtle differences in color, even in areas that you may not even notice straight away. Once you get it in a nice light and you really examine it, you'll really pick up on how much paint application he has applied and how nice and smoothly it is applied. He's also kind of added like this sort of satin shine to it, giving it almost like a bit of a glossy look, which helps to give it the wet look that you would want to see on a shark. So definitely like that as well. So overall, this is a very cool figure and one that I definitely recommend picking up. So as per usual, if you are interested, I will include links in the description to where you can contact Creature Preacher and place an order for this absolutely awesome figure. And like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.